Welcome everyone to Infinitely Productions, and today we'll be covering over the feud between Roger Vella and Joey Merlino. Podcast host Skinny Joey Merlino has now covered his feud with Roger Vella, and he did so last year on July 25th, 2024, specifically on the episode 47, Joey Merlino and Little Suff sit down with Ed Jacobs to discuss the Rat of the Month. In this specific episode, he went to visit his lawyer, Edward Jacobs, who has been his legal assistant throughout many decades, especially during the 1990s. Within this episode, he specifically said that he will cover the Rat of the Month, in which he labeled Roger Vella.
Welcome back to episode 47, The Skinny, with Joey Merlino and Little Snuff. Today's episode, we're going to do the Rat of the Month, where we're going to expose Roger Vella.
We got his ass good today.
There has been a long history between these two individuals, and the best people to cover this topic is Philadelphia Inquirer George Anastasia and Fox 29 reporter Dave Stratweiser from their Mob Talk channels. And then we will show you reenactments of the stuff that they're describing and also photo reports from this discussion. Here's their report on the story between Roger Vella and Joey Merlino.
Welcome to this week's edition of Mob Talk. I'm Dave Stratweiser.
And I'm George Anastasia with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
George, this week we're going to talk about Roger Vella, Joey Merlino's former driver, sort of a JV wise guy.
Yeah, and a cooperating witness who hasn't delivered everything law enforcement had hoped for, but I think there's still some potential there.
George, Roger Vella comes on the scene when Joey Merlino comes home from jail in 1994, and he's driving Roger's black Cadillac.
Right, and Roger at that point is a guy from the neighborhood, a young kid who idolizes Joey, and he's also involved in the drug business. I mean, there's no secret about that. He's ended up pleading guilty to a drug charge. And he becomes a sycophant for Merlino. He's always around Joey, running errands for Joey, doing this and doing that for Joey.
Driving him around town, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he gets, at least on the fringes, I don't think he's ever in the inner circle, but he's on the fringes and he hears stuff and he knows stuff. And then he gets jammed up himself in kind of a bizarre murder connected to, the allegation is that Ralphie Mazzucca sent some people to Roger's house to rob him of drugs and money. And Roger's mother and father and sister are terrorized. They're tied up, they're beaten, whatever. And in retaliation, Roger lures Ralphie Mazzucca somewhere, apparently to his house, and kills him. And then he dumps Mazzucca's body down at the food distribution center, sets it on fire, and kind of in a bizarre homage to a famous mob hit, he stuffs some money in his undershorts. Now this goes back to when Antonio Caponegro was killed for killing Bruno. He's killed in New York, and they stuffed $20 bills in various parts of his body. In the Mazzucca situation, it's a 5 and 2 1, so it's very much less than that, but it's symbolic in that respect. And that murder becomes part of an investigation. At first, is it tied to the mob? We don't know. Is it a mob hit? Ultimately, Roger gives it up and confesses that he was involved, and it goes back to this vendetta involving the drug business.
But it also brings into the books here George Borghese. Somehow his name surfaces in that murder.
Immediately. I mean, during the days after the body is discovered, I know he's brought in for questioning. And there was a lot of discussion about, was he aware of what went down? Did he take part in it? There's never been an allegation, never been a formal charge that he was involved. But his name was always swirled around the fringes of this thing. And with Roger now cooperating, the question is, does the Mazzucca murder become part of a broader racketeering investigation?
That's like the murder that doesn't go away for George Borghese. Exactly. Even though he's never been charged, allegations have never been formalized, it's still right there. People still talk about it. Insiders are always worried, is he going to get charged with that case?
Yeah, I mean, and if it's a mob hit, and from what we know, it doesn't look like it was a mob hit, but if it's a mob hit, then the hierarchy of the mob could be held accountable, and that would be Borghese, that would be Merlino, all those guys. But, you know, what do you have besides Roger's word to determine how exactly that hit went down and who was involved and who okayed it, who approved it? You don't have much more than Roger. And the feds have been very reluctant to use Roger in a serious case up to this point.
Okay, so they give him a little trial run after he flips. They take FBI confessions from him, 302s they call them. He starts talking about a bunch of guys. One of the guys he's talking about is Trent Picard, who was a close ally of Joey Merlino's. He starts talking about Trent and some shootings and murders over in North Philly.
Yeah, and ultimately Picard is indicted and goes on trial, and Vella becomes a key witness in that case.
Roger Vella was just totally believable, and he just laid it all out.
and Trent Picard is convicted. I mean, so in that respect, Roger was an effective witness. But then Joey Merlino was put on trial up in North Jersey in Newark for a murder, which Roger may or may not have known something about. The feds opt not to call him as a witness. And at that point, you know, he's been debriefed multiple times, and there's conflicting information, and also he apparently lied to the FBI.
He gets caught in a lie, right?
Yeah.
And the lie is a very big lie. It's not a small, little, tiny white lie.
Yeah.
It's a big lie.
At one point, while he's being debriefed, he says to the FBI, "I'm a made guy. I was at a making ceremony. I got formally initiated into the mob." And then a day or two later, he says, "Oh, wait a minute, never mind. I was lying about that." All of this is documented. It's all on paper. And the feds have to turn that over to defense attorneys. So if Roger Vella is going to be a witness, the defense has all of that information, and they use it to challenge his credibility. And in the Merlino case up in North Jersey, they opted not to put him on the stand, I think for that very reason. His credibility would become suspect.
And among the local wise guys, he's a running joke, basically.
Yeah.
Am I right?
They make all kind of references to him, and he's in a protected custody wing right now. And I don't think they worry so much about Roger because they really don't believe he would be able to hold up under a strong cross-examination.
And Roger was actually in the same facility with Ralph Natale at one point, so we're talking about witnesses who didn't do very well. The two of them were together in jail at one point.
Yeah, that was kind of a good fit, I think. I think a lot of people downtown would think that's a very good fit. It remains to be seen. I mean, Vella has also talked about the Ron Turchi hit and knows a little bit on the fringes of that. And I could see a situation where they try to bring him in as a limited witness. But once you put him up there, the defense is going to attack him. So, yeah, I think you got to weigh what he brings as opposed to what he could, how he could undermine your case by putting him up there.
Okay, and that's from one video. Now we'll show you a second clip in which the whole recent discussion on Roger Vella and Joey Merlino has been talked about.
Welcome to this week's edition of Mob Talk. I'm Dave Stratweiser.
And I'm George Anastasia with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
George, this week we're going to talk about a mob murder that is partially solved, but the feds believe apparently there are other people involved in the murder, a notorious murder from back in the late 90s, the murder of Ralph Mazzucca.
Yeah, we know who the shooter was. The shooter, Roger Vella, has confessed, but Vella has implicated several other mob figures, and that's what remains to be seen, whether the feds can take that and put it into something bigger.
First, George, let's start with the murder. Ralph Mazzucca is found shot to death, his body set on fire in South Philadelphia. Roger Vella made no bones about the fact after he turned government witness that he was involved in that.
Yeah, the body's discovered out by the Food Distribution Center. And this connects to a drug dispute. Vella's an admitted drug dealer. Mazzucca was a suspected drug dealer. And at a certain point, two individuals invaded Vella's home looking for either drugs or cash, terrorized his parents and his teenage daughter. And Mazzucca was the guy suspected of setting those two individuals in motion, and his murder was allegedly, and I think Roger admits, retribution and a vendetta for what happened to his family.
All right, then Roger turns government witness at some point, pleads guilty to the charges in the case, and starts naming more names.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the debriefings with Roger in terms of that Mazzucca hit, and this is 1995 when it happens, he implicates almost every major player in the Merlino organization at that time, from alleging that Joey Merlino ordered it, to Giorgio Borghese took part in the shooting, to any number of other individuals who helped either get rid of the body or clean up the mess afterwards. So in toto, it's a very dramatic allegations. The question is, do the feds have anything to back Roger up, number one? And number two, if Roger gets up on a stand, he's going to be able to hold up, looking at Borghese and Merlino at the defense table. I mean, Merlino was somebody he idolized when he was out on the street.
He was his driver.
Yeah, he was his driver, and he was kind of Joey's sycophant, and he kept almost a scrapbook of Joey's mob exploits.
Up in the tiles and the roof in his bedroom,
all of that.
The ceiling.
So, you know, can he become a witness who can deliver the goods, and will he hold up under cross-examination if, in fact, the feds put this in a racketeering case?
Okay, now Borghese was, in fact, questioned right after this murder by police. Nothing happened. Give him his due. No charges were filed. He's never been charged with this case. He's in federal prison, still got about 2.5 years left on his sentence. This would rock his world if this came up in an indictment.
No, absolutely, and he's always said he had nothing to do with that. And he happened to be driving around that night, and he was stopped. He and a couple other individuals. He's always said he had nothing at all to do with that. Roger obviously says otherwise. You know, this is what we've talked about before, though. If you start putting murders in these racketeering cases, you up the ante considerably. We've talked about 3 other murders that occurred on alleged mob boss Joe Legambi's watch. This goes back to the Merlino organization, and by and large, Joey Merlino and those guys seem to be on the periphery of what's going on now. But if the Mazzucca murder is part of this, then they're right center stage again.
Let's talk about the legalistics right here. In order to use Vella, you need to have another witness or something very compelling to go along with his testimony.
I mean, we would assume that. I mean, we know what happened last time when they didn't have enough to back up the murder charges in the Merlino racketeering case in '01. All of the murder and attempted murder charges were thrown out by the jury, not proven, not guilty. The feds don't want to be embarrassed again in that situation.
So as you heard from the news reports from Georgia State and Dave Stratweiser, Roger Vella does have a long history with Joey Merlino. And now we're going to show you from the Skinny podcast with Joey Merlino when he discussed about the legal ramifications that he's dealt with as a result of Roger Vella.
You want to question me on, and I'll bring it to you. Roger Vella, this dirty mother.
Yeah.
Here's a guy, I didn't even know him. He was younger than me. I was in jail. Something happened. He was a drug dealer, got in a beef, home invasion, whatever. This mother was bragging everybody in Philly. He was telling everybody he did it. He killed this Ralphie Mazzucca. He did it.
Yeah.
When he got caught, we did it. Now it was me. He threw me in. He was getting life, death, whatever he was he definitely getting life. In Pennsylvania, you get life, you never get out. You never get out of jail. You die in jail. So they made it easy for him. He got out, and he said that I told him to do it. My friends helped him. No, they know the truth. His father knows the truth. You know who did it? Him and his mother. His mother's the woman version of Ralph. Treacherous mother.
Really?
No good. Listen to me. Him and the mother did it. They want to blame me. We don't know these people. I don't know this mother.
Yeah.
He got out of jail. Another guy got out of jail. Right out of jail. JR, he was getting. He got caught drugs. He was getting. JR should have got more time than anybody. I'm going to play it. Listen, he did it when you sign your agreement with the government.
Okay.
You're not allowed to commit no crimes. No more.
Yeah.
None. You're going to hear him from his mouth. This motherfucker committed 9 crimes. Why he was a cooperating witness.
Yeah.
He did a Hobbs Act robbery. He went to a guy's house with a gun.
That's what that means.
Mandatory 20 years. You got to get 20 years.
Yeah.
That's not counting the other 8 crimes. So when we play the snippets, I'll go along with it.
I did ask you last night, though, too, is if you would have got found guilty of this, anything that you did.
In my New York case?
With the New York case,
I
you
would
would
have got 20 years.
Now,
He would have gave me 20 years.
Immediately.
He fucking hated me.
So people could just throw your name in there and, God forbid.
That's how easy it is.
And that's it.
That's how easy. Listen, the judge in New York hated me. He loved him. He hated my guts. If I could play my tapes, I have every tape.
Yeah.
I'll go to trial tomorrow, and I'll bet them. I'll represent myself. I guarantee I get acquitted in an hour.
Yeah.
They're dead.
That's amazing.
Dead. He's dead on tape.
No, it really is.
That's why, listen, the judge ain't no dope. That's the only judge, though. I had 7 cases. The judge let every tape in. What's funny is when there's a tape that's in a gray area about me, they're allowed to play it. When it's nothing, when it's something good for me, oh, it's hearsay. Hearsay? Talking about hearsay. Mother.
Yeah, let me play.
I don't know he's wearing wire.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy asked me, he destroyed evidence. He's going to tell you.
Yeah.
On his thing.
I have him. I'm going to play him soon as
He texts me. He used to text me about betting games, who you like. He said on there, I used to text him 50 times a day. Text him 50 times a day. But anyway, he used to text, who you like, I like this game, I like that. And one day he texted me, and I told him a million times, it's on tape. He came to me with hot cigarettes. I told him, no, I'm not.
Go right to jail.
I said, whoever's giving you the cigarettes, the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's my friend. I don't give a who it is. I don't want him. I ain't doing nothing illegal.
Yeah.
I just did 12 years in jail. I ain't doing nothing illegal. You want to bet games? I'm a degenerate. I'll bet. I'll race you for 200. I'll box you.
Yeah.
Whatever the you want to do. I said, but I ain't doing nothing illegal. He came to me with gold. You name it, he came to me with. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it.
He says on the one thing.
One day he texted me. It was a text. And I got mad. He said something like, I said, listen, you mother. This is the last time I'm going to tell you. Yeah. Or don't ever text me again or come around again. Stop asking me to do anything that's a little, no, but he was trying to say, no, it ain't illegal. Motherfucker, I ain't doing nothing that's, I think is illegal. I'm not, don't ask me. You want to bet, that's it. Or don't ever text me again. You. Yeah, you're right. He texts back, I'm sorry, I know, you're right. What do you think he did with the text? So now we get pinched, I want the text. Of course. He erased them. He factory reset the phone. He destroyed all the evidence in the case. Wow. I would have got acquitted in 5 minutes. Yeah, he destroyed everything. He had the phone. The FBI called him up and said, I want my phone back. Send the phone. Of course. They gave him free reign. He used to wear the wire, take it off, put it back on. He did whatever he wanted.
He said everybody quit. He said...
They hated him.
Yeah, he said, I was the worst witness ever.
Ever. They hated him. The FBI agent hated him. When we were in court, I was on trial. The guy was on the stand. I forget his name. He was the case agent. He came off the stand. You know what he told me? I wish you luck. He said, I hope you win.
Wow.
Because that's how he got the FBI guy fired. No, this kid was sick. This kid was a sick mother.
That's amazing.
But what are you going to do?
Hey.
But when we do him on the Rat of the Month, when you hear his tapes, forget about it. Your head will be spinning.
Well, we're going to play
him and his wife. He says on the one thing, I didn't care if Joey what they were.
Yeah, he said, no, I really didn't want him to go to jail, but I did.
He said he loved me too. He said I love Joey. He was a good guy. He loved me. You motherfucker. Try to give me. I love me. That's love.
I know. That's amazing.
When you wait to hear his tapes, when he was in jail, he didn't love me. He said, I hope he gets 40 years. He dies in jail. That motherfucker. Him, his kids. He cursed my whole family.
That's disgusting.
Dirty motherfucker.
After we get done eating, what we're going to do, I'm going to play the tapes, and then I want you to explain to everybody what that really means. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. You got it. Let's take a break.
All right. Here comes Cousine Johnny. I'm starving.
Me too.
The episode in which Joey Merlino has discussed Roger Vella more in depth and details was from the episode Joey Merlino and the Justice System. This episode was premiered on November 16th, 2023. That was from episode 10 from the Skinny podcast with Joey Merlino and his co-host Little Snuff. As of this recording, Joey Merlino and Little Snuff are about to air their 100th episode of their podcast, which has been out for almost 2 years, and so far it is doing well. And there you have it. Now we showed you from both Joey Merlino's perspective and from news reporters George Anastasia and Dave Schratwasser covering over between the tensions between Roger Vella and Joey Merlino. Do you ever think Roger Vella will respond to Joey Merlino and some of the news reports that's been brought to his attention? We'd like to hear from you from the comments below. Please let us know what you think of this video from Infinitely Productions and who do you think we should cover next. We hope to hear from you soon. Stay tuned.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinitely Productions. We love ya.